Ever wondered how to create eye-catching motion graphics like After Effects on CapCut that can elevate your brand? In just 5 simple steps, I'll show you how I created a brilliant Starbucks coffee commercial using CapCut, just like this. Stick around, and by the end, you'll have the skills to make your own captivating ads. Let's dive in. This is the 4th video in my series on how to create commercial motion graphics for any brand using CapCut. In the previous videos, we made motion graphics for Lay's chips, Coca-Cola, and Heineken. But for this video, I've chosen the Starbucks coffee brand. To separate an image, I'm going to use Photoshop. You can use the Photopea site. They have the same interface. Open Photoshop and add your logo. Sometimes your client sends you a PNG logo. And if you're not familiar with Illustrator and Photoshop, you can use this method. So, I have this green PNG logo, and I want to fill these parts with white color and delete the green area. First, duplicate the logo to keep the original intact in the project. Since it's a PNG, I can't create a white solid color. Select the white layer and green logo, then press Ctrl+E on your keyboard to merge them. Lock the original logo or hide it. Then, use the wand tool to delete the green parts. You can hold Shift to select multiple areas, then press Backspace or Delete to remove the green areas. Now we have the Starbucks logo again, but this time in white. We need to remove these white areas because we only want the mermaid body layers in the circle mask. Before masking, create a green color layer to see the mask line better. Select the circle shape tool, ensuring it's set to the path option, and click and drag to create your circle. Adjust the edges to fit the Starbucks circle shape by clicking and dragging. When you select your mask, click on the selection button at the top of the page. Invert the mask and press Delete or Backspace on your keyboard. Nice. Now select the wand tool again. Select part of the body, right-click, and choose Layer via Cut to separate the body part. Rename the layers to keep track of what you're doing. Select the logo layer. Use wand tool to select her legs. Right-click and choose Layer via Cut again. For symmetrical parts, hold Shift to select the part on the other side and cut the layer. Continue like this to separate all parts. For her hands, you can use Circle Mask again to separate them better. You should get layers like these. I think we can separate this into the star and the crown. Use the pen tool to create a star shape mask. Ensure it's on the path option. Click to create your star shape. To move one point, hold Ctrl to see a white mouse icon and move it. When you create the star shape, click on Selection to convert it to a mask. Right-click and select Layer via Cut. Let me hide the star layer. To fill these empty areas, use a brush to fill them. We should export layers as PNG. Why? Because CapCut and Adobe are in a fight. So our layers should be saved as PNG. First, hide all layers except the one you want to export. Press Alt, Shift, Ctrl, and S to bring up the window. Press Save and rename your PNG layer. Use this method for all layers. Now we are ready to animate our first shot. Open CapCut and add your files. First, create your background by importing the green background, like Starbucks color. Add coffee beans pattern too. Rotate it 90 degrees and scale it to fill the screen. To see the green background and beans together, change the blend mode from default to multiply. Now it looks gorgeous. Because we have many layers and don't want to import all layers to the timeline, because I want you all to understand the video in the best way, I will show you step by step. Animating the star. For the star, lock the background layers because we don't want to change them. For the star, use the animation part and select Rotate Animation. If it's too fast, increase the duration to get slower animation. 1 second is good. Duplicate it a few times. Move the second star 2 or 3 frames farther. Do the same for other stars. Now check the animation. Add more stars to get 6 stars and make the animation longer. Check it again. Before adding the next layer, select all stars and create a compound clip. Animating the crown. For the crown, let's see which animation works best. Most of them are great for TikTok dance effects, in my opinion. Some are better suited for motion graphics. So, let's test them out and see which one fits best. Move the crown layer to the right side so that it appears after the star animation. Use zoom in animation and increase the duration to make it smooth and slow. Add her face layer and use zoom in animation again. Move the layer a little to the right to get a different animation. Add her body layer and use zoom in animation again, increasing the duration of the animation. Now add her hair layers. This time I don't want to use animation. I'll use a different method called masking for the hair layers. Start with her first hair layer near her body. Go to the mask part and move the mask to the top of her hair. First, we shouldn't see her hair. If you still see her hair, make sure to invert the mask. Her hair should grow from her head to down. Move it up. Create a keyframe at the beginning of the layer's position. Go a little farther and move the mask edge down to reveal the hair completely. Check the animation. It's good. We can make it better by changing the animation curve. Right-click on it and choose Show Keyframe Animation. On Position, click the little arrow to see the curves better. Make both keyframes smoother, using the auto curve, but move this curve to the left side for a different movement. Right-click and hide Keyframe Animation option. Check it again. Great. Do the same masking for other hair layers. The best way is to right-click on the first animation, select Copy Attributes, then select Other Hair Layers. Right-click again, and select Paste Attributes. Since all layers have the same size, no need to change anything. Just click on Paste. Now all layers have mask keyframes. Move layers to the right side one by one with 8-frame distance. Check if 8 frames is good for the hair layers. It's a little fast. When viewers see your logo animation and all layers move together, they can't figure out what's happening on the screen and may feel confused or think the animation isn't good. To avoid bad feedback,
use slower animation to guide
their eyes to what you want them to see. So increase the distance between layers to get slower animation. Now it's smooth and slow. Add her legs layer. Use slide up animation and increase the duration to 1.5 seconds. Right-click and copy attributes. Select other leg layers and paste the animation on them. Move the layers to the right side one by one with 8 frame distance. Check it. It's very good, but 8 seconds is long for this logo animation. Select all leg layers and create a compound clip. This way I can move them easily. Now move it a little to the left. It's in a good place. But wait, something is missing. Oh right, her hands. Add her hands layers. Use the mask tool like a circle mask. First, put it in the middle of the screen and make it smaller. Create a keyframe at the beginning of the layer. Go farther and make the mask bigger to see her hands. At the top of keyframes, change the shape of the first keyframe to get a different masking animation. Add the green background layer. Put it under all layers. Select all layers and create a compound clip. On the right side, go to the mask part. Use circle mask, make it bigger, and fit it near the Starbucks logo. Now it's good. Double-click on the compound clip to open it. The star's animation looks too sharp and junky. Select the star layer, then scroll down on the right side and turn on motion blur. Set both numbers to 50 and wait for the process to complete. If it's a bit too much, reduce it to 20. Let's check it again. Yeah, now it's better. Then, on the left side, go to Stock Materials and add a black video. Click on Rotate to make it vertical. Convert it to an image using the freeze frame option. Delete the video part and increase the duration. Next, go to the mask part and select a circle mask. Move the playhead to view all layers and scale the mask to fit it near the Starbucks logo. Increase the feather slightly, then invert the mask. Adjust the feather again and set the value to 10. 10 looks good for now. Let's go back to the main timeline. It looks a bit too dark. Let's reduce it to 5. Okay, now it's good. We made our first shot. For the second part of the animation, you should introduce the product. I use this coffee mock-up. Add the green screen for the mock-up background. Add it to the timeline and make it small. For the green background, use circle mask, but this time, make it look 3D. How? I got this idea from 3D billboards in the city. I know you saw them too. Use circle mask. Make it smaller to see top of mock-up, out of circle. To animate, I tried all options but didn't like the results. So I decided to animate it myself. It should come on the screen with a bounce effect. To create it, First, create a keyframe for point B. For point A, it should go down and be small because it comes from a distance. Check the animation. Add bounce to it. Duplicate the second keyframe and move it to the right side. Make the mockup bigger. Move the B keyframe to the right side. Copy and paste it here. Make it small again. Repeat this process to create a bouncing effect. This is our bounce-in animation. To make it better, right-click on it. Select Show Keyframe Animation. Click on the little arrow to see the curves. In the Scale section, you can see our bounce-in animation by looking at the curves. Use the Auto Curve option for all the keyframes. Check it again. The bounce-in looks good. For the circle background, use the first circle with shadow. Double-click on the compound clip to cut the green and black layer. Paste it into the main timeline. Delete the mock-up green background. Increase the duration of the layers and create a compound clip. Use Circle Mask again and fit it with the background. Create a compound clip for the mockup too. Use Circle Mask to cut the parts that jump out of the circle. Make it bigger because we don't want to cut the edges. As you can see, it needs to be a bit bigger. Since it doesn't look quite like 3D, double-click on the mockup layer to view the original image with the animation. I can't change the scale directly because there's a keyframe on it, but if we first make it a compound clip, we can then increase its size a little. Now, when we go back to the main timeline, it looks more like 3D. This is the before and after with just a little change. See how much difference it makes. Let's add some random motion to it because it's boring to see something without movement. So, in the effects section under Nightclub, use the play pendulum effect. You can try other effects too, but I like this girl. I think she's different. Set twist to 0, strength to 12, sharpen to 10 or 20, and speed to 75. Before watching the results, add some motion blur to it. Set the number to 20, and wait for process. That was our second shot. For the third part of the animation, I'll show you how to do text motion graphics in CapCut. Add a default text layer and write Starbucks. Make it bold and change font. In the animation section, choose Wave 2 in the loop part. Increase the speed to get a slower animation. 3 seconds is good. Duplicate it. Ensure every text has the same distance. Don't move it manually. Instead, change the Y-axis. Change Y to 500. It's too much. Try 200. So close. 300 is good. Duplicate the text layer again and set Y-axis to 600. Select all 3 layers, put them in center of the shot. Scale them a little bit. Write Starbucks again to make them longer. Make sure to write Starbucks for the other layers too. Duplicate it 2 more times to fill empty areas. Move them to the left a little bit so you can see the word Starbucks appear from top to bottom. Select all of them and create a compound clip. Use circle mask, but make it a little smaller and increase the feather a little bit, maybe 2 or 3. Now let's take a look at it. For the end of the animation, when the text moves out of the screen, you can see an empty area appearing suddenly. To fix this, open the compound clip. Select all layers, duplicate them, and move them to the end of the text layer. This way, as the text moves off the screen, another set of text will appear in its place, like a busy city with a constant flow of trains. For the end of the animation, use a fade-out effect. That wraps up our third shot. Now, it's time for the fourth shot. In this part, I want to show you how this coffee keeps you energized for 24 hours straight. For this, we need a clock and some coffee beans. We've already created half of the clock by making a circle. Remember, every product has a color palette. As you can see, this is Starbucks palette, and here is the coffee color palette. I also have a palette for my thumbnails: blue, gold, purple, and white. For the fourth shot, I'm going to use the coffee palette. Just place it in the corner of the shot and lock it. We don't need it right now. To create the clock, place coffee beans at the 3, 9, 12, and 6 o'clock positions. Add a default text layer, then press the Windows key and period on your keyboard to open the emoji window. Select the line emoji, make it bigger, rotate it 45 degrees, and place it at 4 p.m. You can make the line bold or change the font to get a different look. Duplicate it 3 times to mark the other hours. Now, select the first text layer and change its color using the color picker to match the coffee palette. Repeat this for all text layers. After that, create a compound clip for each one separately. Next, rotate the clips 90 and 180 degrees to position them between the coffee beans. Add the hour hand to the center of the shot, then move it up and ensure the circle is centered. Since CapCut doesn't allow us to change the center of the shot directly, we'll make it a compound clip first. Then, make it smaller and set it to 2 p.m. Create a keyframe on rotation and start rotating. Move the playhead and continue rotating. At the end, set it to 12 p.m. Adjust the keyframes to create a more realistic, slightly disrupted rotation. Now, let's change the color of the hour hand for better visibility. Switching between white and black works well. Here's a tip. If you can't increase the duration of a compound clip, double-click on it, extend the duration of the layers inside, and then return to the main timeline. Sometimes, you can also reduce the speed to get a longer layer. Finally, let's add a little motion to the beans. Add the play pendulum effect to the coffee beans and copy and paste the attributes onto the other layers. I skipped this part because I showed you before. For the clock animation, use a fade-in effect, and for the beans, apply the zoom-in animation. Remember to increase the duration to slow down the animation. We'll move all 4 shots to connect them and make them more organized. But first, let's add some twists to the coffee bean pattern in the background by using the Flash 2 effect. Reduce the strength to minimize the flash effect, and you can tweak other settings to create different movements. But don't go too strong if you don't need it. For background, use some vignette to add some shadow around corners. For the first transition, let's move the coffee mock-up to the end of the first layer. Use the fade-out effect for the logo animation. So for the end of the mock-up animation, we'll move it down and out of the shot. So open mock-up compound clip and create keyframe at end of layer at current position, then move it down out of shot. Make the keyframe smoother by using auto curve. This way, the text can remain visible behind the mock-up while it's still on screen. For the clock, position it on top of the third layer. And use the rotate animation for the exit. Apply a zoom in and zoom out effect for the beginning and end of the circle layer in the background. And now let's take a look at Starbucks' final animation. If you want to see more videos like this, just click on this playlist. And remember, as always, stay creative.
Shoo!